Welcome to this episode of the Harpreet Singh Show. I'm your host Harpreet Singh from Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. In today's program, this is the second Tuesday of the month, and as you know, you wait eagerly every month for this program because I'm joined by Dr. Arun Garg, who is from Canada India Network Society. And for the past few months, we have been carrying on this program in which our focus is on integrative thinking and integrative health. Today, we will be talking about what is Neem and its role in sustainable health and its link to integrative thinking for integrative health. And we'll also be joined by Klaus Ferlow, who is a Neem expert, but due to some issues with the internet, he is right now not being able to join us, but shortly he will try to join with us. So let's get Dr. Arun Garg in the meantime to continue with the discussion. Dr. Garg, welcome to the program.
Oh, pleasure as always, Harpreet, and good evening to all our viewers.
Good evening. First of all, I would like to wish you happy Navratri, happy Vaisakhi, and happy Ramzan to our all the viewers who are watching this program.
Absolutely. That's beauty of our heritage. We celebrate and we celebrate. So today is celebration. So very happy Vaishakhi and Navratri to all our viewers.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Garg, as Klaus Ferlow is trying to join us due to some technical difficulty, he's unable right now to join with us, and as we are live. So, every month we talk about integrative health. Over the past
Yeah,
few months, we have been talking about different issues, and today our focus is going to be on neem. It is said it is one of the most versatile herbs which is available. So we'll talk about that. But before that, when it comes to integrative thinking, over the past few months, we are still in the COVID crisis. People are sitting at home, and a lot of people have started analyzing the mind, body, soul concept, what we talk about always. They have started thinking on those grounds. What has been your observation in the past few months? You got a lot of calls after the programs. So, what is going on?
yeah. I think Harpreet, this is a real critical issue facing us, and in some ways, as much as I like with everybody else, concerned about COVID and concerned about what it has done. So I want to first take the opportunity to say we are all in it together, and nobody should feel lonely. And I think the pain and the suffering which this virus has caused is very real, and we all feel it. So even though here I might talk as if I'm just talking, but it's a real concern and the pain and sincerity. So I think that's one thing COVID has taught us, that in spite of some of the best technology, in spite of some of the best knowledge, when something like COVID comes, we feel helpless, and we all feel helpless. And this is where the concept which we started in Canada India Network Society now 10 years, looking for the gap and the best of East and best of West, is really making it very clear that the individual plays as big a role in their health as anything system can provide. And that's what integrative thinking is, to think of person as a whole and the role person plays. So I think that COVID has clearly shown that all the things which we can fight COVID against are really self-generated.
Right.
First, person has to accept that there is a problem, because you can't see it, so you think there is no problem, right?
Right.
And then role you play as an individual is as critical as anything anybody can do, and that is protection. Protection, yourself, protecting from this unknown visible invader who is real. And then prevention. And prevention is very important, and is the only thing you could do is what you do. There is nothing somebody could tell you to do it. It's you who has
Absolutely.
to do it. You have to have self realization, you have to have self preservation, you have to have self commitment that you're going
Right.
to do it. And
Absolutely.
then come Yeah, and then comes promotion, health. And this is very critical, and this is where integrative health comes in. So in health promotion, the biggest thing is that you are fighting a invader, and which leads to inflammation. So what you want to do is you want to have your body in the best possible capacity to fight this invader. And this is where concept of increasing your immune capacity comes by good health and good healthy behavior and good proponent of diet and stress and living. Now, having said that, I too also want to say that I fully appreciate is easy to say and very hard to do. And again, we are all in it together, and some people can do it very easily because they have the facilities. Some people don't have the facilities. This is where we need a very strong social emphasis and social network and social support. It cannot be just done in isolation. And that's why I say we are all in it together. And we could talk more about what this integrative thinking is around personal behavior, like
Right.
diet, sleep, stress,
Mm-hmm.
uh, 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 the kind of uh, personal relationships we have. Because these are the things one doesn't think when they think of health.
Right.
And this has been our emphasis. That is the chapter which we have started. And both you and I and most of our listeners are very beneficial with the heritage we come with, whether whatever we have been brought up with, this holistic approach to health has been part of our learning.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so I think that's what we've been emphasizing. And I think, as you know, we have had 3 conferences, and we are having another one, major one, coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole theme is how to build that capacity,
Very
how
true.
to engage with the community, how to empower the individual,
Mm-hmm.
how to engage the individual, how to educate the individual so they can take better care of themselves and they are healthier. And that's what really integrative thinking is.
Very
And
true.
we and I think that's what we keep emphasizing. And I
Absolutely.
think COVID has clearly shown that there are some pay attention to this. COVID
Right.
has clearly shown, and even simple things like hesitancy around vaccination
Mm-hmm.
or vaccination itself, and just journal background on COVID. Everything requires that thinking of health and your role, and that's what integrative health is all about, and
Very
that's
true.
what leads to integrative medicine.
Absolutely. And of course, whatever we talk, it's a general talk what we have, and it's no substitute for the medical advice. If you are facing, having some issues, please go and check it up with your medical doctor, because this program is just a source of providing you information whereby integrative thinking and integrative health is promoted. Dr. Garg, it's time for a break. Unfortunately, we are not being able to have our second guest due to some technical issues, but nevertheless, we will continue with our discussion. And after the break, I would like to know a little bit about the importance of Neem, because today that is
Okay.
what our topic is. So we
Yeah.
will again try to get Klaus Ferlow, our guest, back on the program, but in case he's not able to join us. So a little bit
Yeah.
about the importance of Neem, and also we are having the CINI conference in June. That is another milestone which we will be accomplishing very soon. So we'll talk all about this after this short break.
है जुल्म ढाने का अंदाज भी कितना हंसी हमारी जान पर बनाई है जब जब उसने अंगड़ाई ली कभी खामोश रहते हैं कभी शोर होता है मोहब्बत में शरारत का मजा कुछ और होता है दिल को जज्बात का तोहफा खामोशियों को बात का तोहफा खूबसूरती में जड़ी नजाकत अदाओं की चांद से मुखड़े को चांद सा तोहफा
भारत ज्वेलर्स सच्चे प्यार की चमक जैसा 5 बिजनेस सेंटर सरी।
ਕੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਰੀ ਡੈਲਟਾ ਰਿਚਮੰਡ ਐਬਸਫੋਰਡ ਜਾਂ ਵੈਂਕੂਵਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਵਾਂ ਘਰ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਬਾਰੇ ਸੋਚ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਰੈਨੋਵੇਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਤਜਰਬੇਕਾਰ ਬਿਲਡਰ ਇੱਕ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟਿਵ ਇੰਟੀਰੀਅਰ ਡਿਜ਼ਾਈਨਰ ਦੀ ਜੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਹੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਗਾਈਡ ਕਰ ਸਕਣ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸੁਪਨੇ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਉਸਾਰ ਸਕਣ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਜਾਂ ਸੰਦੀਪ 6048259295 ਉੱਤੇ
ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਨਵੇਂ ਤੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਅਪਲਾਈਐਂਸਸ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਸਟੋਵ, ਓਵਨ, ਫ੍ਰਿਜ, ਵਾਸ਼ਰ ਡਰਾਇਰ, ਮਾਈਕ੍ਰੋਵੇਵ, ਫ੍ਰੀਜ਼ਰਸ ਜਾਂ ਡਿਸ਼ਵਾਸ਼ਰ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਪਹੁੰਚੋ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਮ ਅਪਲਾਈਐਂਸਸ ਤੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ 3 ਬ੍ਰਾਂਚਸ ਸਰੀ, ਐਬਟਸਫੋਰਡ ਤੇ ਚਿਲਵੈਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਨ। ਇੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵਾਜਬ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਅਪਲਾਈਐਂਸਸ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ। ਇਹ ਡਿਲੀਵਰੀ ਤੇ ਇੰਸਟਾਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਪੈਕੇजेस ਫॉर ਬਿਲਡਰਸ ਐਂਡ ਹੋਮ ਓਨਰਸ। ਕਾਲ 6045904140 604 590 4140। Once again, welcome back to the program. Today's program is being brought to you with the support of Agnihotri Immigration Consulting. If you want to know about temporary status, PR, new to Canada, you're an international student, you want to know about citizenship, how to acquire it, hire foreign workers, or know about express entry or sponsor parents or grandparents, you can be helped by Neera Agnihotri, who has been working as a certified immigration consultant since 2006. For honest and reliable information, call 604-597-2284. Our next sponsor is AMC Insurance, home, auto, travel, business, life or recreational insurance. They deal in all these insurances and they have 9 branches in the lower mainland to serve you. They're open 7 days a week from 8:30 a.m. onwards till 9 p.m. For more information, call 604-507-6666. Our guest today is Dr. Arun Garg. Of course, he's my co-host, and unfortunately, we're not being able to get our second guest on air due to some technical difficulties. But in the meantime, let's get some wisdom from Dr. Garg on the importance of integrative thinking for integrative health. And today we are talking about neem. The neem tree is very beneficial to our health, this is said. So let's learn as to what is that in this tree which can be helpful to us and we can consume all the parts of this tree. So Dr. Garg, could you please tell us what is the importance of neem?
Yeah, so I think before I do that, again, just want to emphasize for our viewers that this is a conversation and information. We show or anything we say is not a substitute for professional advice, and viewers must consult their healthcare provider, including physicians, for any specific remedies, and should not start to implement what we say as if it's advice. So I think that's very critical piece of information we want to share and reaffirm to our viewers. Again, as far as neem goes, I was hoping that we will have a real expert who has dedicated and given his life in use of neem. So I cannot obviously meet his expectations or his knowledge, but I'm sure if you are from subcontinent of India, you sort of grew up with this huge tree growing everywhere, and you must have seen people walking around with a tree twig using for brushing their teeth, and you might wonder what that was. So that's what we are talking about, that tree which has been used for eons in essentially as an antiseptic or as a fighting bacteria, at least in for humans from oral hygiene, and we'll talk more about it because Klaus Ferlow, who was supposed to be with us, has written a whole book on 7 steps to dental health, which I thought fits very well in integrative medicine.
Right.
But I think neem has certain chemicals in it, and I think we could project that slide for our viewers, but which are, the nice thing is absolutely natural, and it allows this balance of pest control and allows a balance between for agriculture, and obviously it has many other benefits.
Right.
And in terms of its use in medicine, the biggest use already for human consumption is like an antiseptic for the skin or for oral hygiene, and every part of it can be used for that. And I think if you would be kind enough to project the
tree, yeah.
If we could project that picture, then
Absolutely.
I could lead people through that.
Sure.
That might be the easiest,
Absolutely. So the life of neem, we are seeing the tree, the branches, the twigs, the fruit, everything can be used which can be beneficial to one's health. And of course, everybody knows that these days it's not that you have to chew or have the twig for use. We have toothpaste now of neem, we have soaps of neem, we have many things which are the fruit also in condensed form, different forms which we can consume and which can be beneficial to us. So this tree in front of us, we'll learn more. Of course, as we said, that Dr. Garg is not an expert on this, but whatever knowledge he has on this, he would like to share. Unfortunately, again, we are not being able to get Klaus Ferlow. back on
Yeah.
air.
So,
Yes, Dr.
so
Garg.
so I think first of all, the name itself,
Mm-hmm.
which is Arista, and its description is perfect, complete, and imperishable.
Right.
So some of those properties were well recognized, and every part of the tree is useful. But majority of people are familiar with the leaves because of antiseptic properties. They're used for pest control in the closets, and but now every part of the tree has been used, oil has been produced, and bark is used, and the twigs, as I already mentioned, used for oral hygiene. And the other thing is that in the part of the nature system, it's a tremendous benefit to the ecology. And I think that's where, in today's climate control and absorption, if you don't have to use fossil fuel for some control, then you're adding value to climate and to the ecology.
Mm-hmm.
And I think David Suzuki did a program about 20 years ago, and that video is fabulous video in terms of what is Neem,
Mm-hmm.
and it's as good today as before. There are several websites which have one, and there is an organization called uh, World Neem Organization, and their website www.wordneemorganization.org has a lot of information on specific properties.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in general for human, the cosmetics and oral hygiene is where neem um, provides the biggest benefit for
Right.
the individual. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's worth looking at it. Uh, in terms of oral hygiene, maybe we could talk about that a little bit because it's not quite understood what role oral hygiene plays
Mm-hmm.
in overall health
Right.
and how inflammation, chronic inflammation, is affected by oral hygiene. Because when we talk about integrative thinking, when we talk about integrative health, that's what we are talking about, awareness of the whole body, how it helps us in being healthy. And people,
Absolutely.
yeah, and people talk about, say, heart problems or
Mm-hmm.
heart attack, so-called heart attack,
Right.
or it's been now shown that if your mouth has some bacteria, or if your oral hygiene is not good, you have increased propensity for inflammation.
Right.
So there is a my field being a medical biochemist, now wearing my expert health, there is a marker in the body which we could measure called C-reactive protein. And that
Mm.
protein is a marker for inflammatory capacity or
Right.
inflammatory role in the body. And
And
it's
yeah, and Dr. Garg, what I have heard is also that neem is having blood purifying, properties also apart from antibacterial or antifungal. So it's very good for purifying your blood also.
well, yes. And now you're getting me into the area
Your expertise.
yeah, I'm not comfortable. And I would say Neem's biggest role is in agriculture,
Right.
in terms of ecology around the agriculture.
Oh, okay,
And
Dr. Garg. Sorry to interrupt you. Finally, we have Klaus with us. Klaus, can you hear
oh,
us?
that's good.
Yeah.
He just,
Oh, thank you, Klaus. Thank you.
yeah,
Finally, you
Yeah.
are here. So, Klaus,
Sorry, there was a problem there,
we
and
have
my son
spent a lot of
was.
time trying to be experts on neem, but there's no substitute for you. So, Dr. Garg, could you take the honor of just introducing Klaus a little bit about his work because we have already told our
yeah,
viewers.
yeah,
But what we'll do is it's time for a break. Let me go for a break. Please, Klaus, remain there only, and we will get you back, and then we'll continue with the
Okay.
discussion and know more from you about your expertise in the field of neem. So we'll be shortly back and we'll continue with the discussion. ਛੋਟੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟਸ ਤੱਕ ਬਾਹਰੋਂ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰਨ ਲਈ ਮਸ਼ਹੂਰ ਹਨ ਜੇਰੇ ਸਟੋਨ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਵਾਲੇ। ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨਲ ਕੰਟੈਂਪਰੇਰੀ ਜਾਰਜੀਅਨ ਮਾਡਰਨ ਲੁੱਕ ਦੇਣੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਜੇਰੇ ਸਟੋਨ ਨੂੰ ਜੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਾਬਲ ਸਟਾਫ ਨੂੰ ਭੇਜ ਕੇ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਐਸਟੀਮੇਟ ਦੇਣਗੇ। ਸਟੋਨ ਟਾਈਲਸ, ਅਰਬਨ ਸਟੋਨ, ਮੋਲਡਿੰਗਸ, ਐਕਸੈਸਰੀਜ਼, ਪਿਲਰਸ ਆਦਿ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਸਟਾਲ ਕਰਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਮਹਾਰਤ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹਨ। 25 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਵਾਰੰਟੀ, ਮੇਨਟੇਨੈਂਸ ਫ੍ਰੀ, ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਅਪਰੂਵਡ ਟਾਈਲਸ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਵੇਖੋ। कॉल करो 604-614-9231 या फिर विजिट करो यूनिट नंबर 500 1515 ब्रॉडवे स्ट्रीट पोर्ट कुकिटलम।
ਕੁਦਰਤ ਦੇ ਸੌਮਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਆਯੁਰਵੇਦਾ ਰਾਹੀਂ 5000 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਬਣਾਏ ਗਏ ਹੈਲਥ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਅਪਰੂਵਡ 100% ਸ਼ੁੱਧ ਆਯੁਰਵੈਦਿਕ ਡਾਇਟਰੀ ਸਪਲੀਮੈਂਟਸ ਦਾ ਲਾਭ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਸਟ੍ਰੈਸ, ਐਂਗਜ਼ਾਇਟੀ, ਇਨਸੋਮਨੀਆ, ਬਲੱਡ ਸ਼ੂਗਰ, ਕਿਡਨੀ, ਬਲੈਡਰ, ਹਾਜ਼ਮਾ, ਆਈਸਾਈਟ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀ ਬਿਮਾਰੀ ਦਾ ਆਰਗੈਨਿਕ ਇਲਾਜ, ਜੋੜਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਦਰਦਾਂ ਤੇ ਸਰੀਰਕ ਮਸਾਜ ਲਈ ਕਈ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੇ ਆਯੁਰਵੈਦਿਕ ਤੇਲ ਵੀ ਉਪਲਬਧ ਹਨ। ਹੋਲਸੇਲ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ 604-628-2003।
ਸ਼ਾਈਨ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਡੈਂਟਲ ਕਲੀਨਿਕ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਤਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੀ ਦੇਖਰੇਖ ਹੇਠ ਆਧੁਨਿਕ ਮਸ਼ੀਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦੰਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਹੀ ਕੇਅਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾਵਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੰਦਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਫ਼ ਕਰਨਾ, ਕਰਾਊਨਸ, ਬ੍ਰਿਜਸ, ਡੈਂਟਲ ਇੰਪਲਾਂਟਸ, ਰੂਟ ਕਨਾਲ, ਡੈਂਚਰਸ, ਬੌਂਡਿੰਗ ਅਤੇ ਵਨੀਰਸ, ਐਕਸਟ੍ਰੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ, ਬੋਨ ਕ੍ਰੈਫਟਿੰਗ ਆਦਿ ਸ਼ਾਮਲ ਹਨ। ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਡੈਂਟਿਸਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਵੀ ਮਾਹਰ ਹਨ। ਇਹ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਕੰਪਨੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟਲੀ ਬਿੱਲ ਭੇਜਦੇ ਹਨ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਘੱਟ ਤੋਂ ਘੱਟ ਚਾਰਜ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਵਾਅਦਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਫॉर ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਸ਼ਾਈਨ ਐਂਡ ਸਮਾਈਲ 604-503-0320 ਤੇ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ। ਕਿੰਗ ਜਾਰਜ ਸੁਪਰ ਸਟੋਰ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਯੂਨਿਟ 370 7488 ਕਿੰਗ ਜਾਰਜ ਬੁਲੇਵਾਰਡ, ਸਰੀ। ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਬੈਸਟ ਹੋਮ ਕਿਚਨ ਕੈਬਨਿਟਸ ਦੇ ਸਹਿਯੋਗ ਨਾਲ। ਘਰ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਾਨ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿਚਨ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਸਟ ਹੋਮ ਕਿਚਨ ਕੈਬਨਿਟਸ ਲੋਅਰ ਮੇਨਲੈਂਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਜਾਣੀ ਪਛਾਣੀ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਹਨ। ਕਸਟਮ ਹਾਈ ਐਂਡ ਘਰਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਮਲਟੀ ਯੂਨਿਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟਸ ਇਹ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਹਰ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਕੈਬਨਿਟ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਬੈਸਟ ਹੋਮ ਕਿਚਨ ਕੈਬਨਿਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖੋ। ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਸੁਰਜੀਤ ਤੇ 604-591-8171 604-591-8171। Our next sponsor is day-to-day wholesale cash and carry. This is British Columbia's largest South Asian grocery store where you can buy groceries, party-wear, kitchenware and homeware. More than 5,000 products are displayed on the shelves, and for best prices, unique grocery buying experience and high-quality products, come to 7843 128th Street, Surrey. Phone number is 604-503-8787. Our guests today are Dr. Arun Garg, my co-host, and Klaus Ferlow, who has just joined us before the break. So once again, we welcome you. And Dr. Garg, I would like to give you the honor of introducing our special guest today.
Thank you, RPG, and it's a real pleasure to welcome and introduce my good friend and a colleague, Klaus Ferlow. Klaus I met accidentally because one of the articles I was writing for South Asian Women had an advertisement on Neem.
Mm-hmm.
So the editor of the magazine, Sonia Kapoor, said I must meet Klaus. So then they say after that rest is history. And what I want to share with our viewers is that Klaus is a master herbalist and is a passionate follower of balance in nature, and he will share with us how he got into Neem, because that will be a very interesting story for our viewers to know. But he was so passionate that he went on to start his own production company for Neem products, and is now one of the biggest producer of Neem products. He introduced Neem to Canada. I have fondly named him Dr. Neem. He is part of World Neem Organization. We lost him again?
No, carry on. He is there. Please carry on.
Yeah. Okay, because I just by looking at, sorry.
Yeah.
And he has written very extensively. He is passionate about sharing his knowledge, spreading the wisdom. So I think that's what attracted me from an integrative health point of view, the role of Neem. So I'm very happy.
Wonderful,
to have
thank you.
him
And of course, he has many books to his credit. He has written a lot of books also on the importance of Neem. So, Klaus, how did you get into this concept of Neem, and how Neem is playing a role in sustainable health?
It was almost 28 years ago, 1994, that I was able to view a television program from Dr. David Suzuki on the nature of things at CBC, and he was talking about, his theme was what's in a neem. At that time, I had no idea what he was talking about, but while it was going on, he talked about the neem cream. The neem tree is the tree called the tree of life in India, and it has so many herbal beauties that it's unique. And so when he started talking about health problems, skin problems, that Neem can solve even chronic skin problems, that got my attention. The reason I had developed when I was 17 in Germany severe psoriasis on my scalp and on my elbows, and had treatments for almost 40 years with no success. Of course, nobody knows the real cause of psoriasis, in German Schuppenflechte. And so I had basically, after all these treatments, given up. But now I thought there's maybe a solution. So I tried to find neem extracts that comes from the leaves, and couldn't find anything in North America because people didn't know, never heard about it.
Right.
Found this in France with connections. We had just started our production of herbal neem products without harmful ingredients, and we started then the first neem cream. And I put the neem cream. My wife put the neem cream on my scalp, and within 10 weeks, all these build-up came up, and that was a miracle for me. And that I thought, how many millions of people have these skin problems besides acne, eczema, psoriasis, dry skin, rosacea, ringworm, shingles? And so the whole thing started, and it really changed my life, and it changed the life of my family. And I think in the meantime, since we are 28 years in business, changed the life of many people across Canada and parts of USA.
Wonderful. Great. So what role is Neem playing in sustainable health, and what are the advantages? Because we were not able to get you on board because of the technical issues. We were talking about the antifungal properties, and we talked about the blood purifying benefit of using Neem. What else is Neem used for, and how it is helping in sustainable health?
First of all, the tree itself is all medicinal from the top to bottom, and it can be used in agriculture, it can be used in pollution control and climate control, it can be used for even for animals, it can be used for non-toxic pesticides, and it's almost unlimited what these products does, because it's part of Mother Nature.
Right. Okay. And you have written many books, right? So in those books, your personal experience, and now that you have brought this to the public also, but still a lot of people don't know about it. And if it is so beneficial, what do you think, what more needs to be done so that people can start using it? Of course, elders in India or Pakistan know the importance, but the younger generation doesn't know much about it. So what all is being done to promote the importance of this particular tree?
See, and that's where really the problem is, and I'm so happy that I connected with Dr. Garg, because first of all, I don't have to explain to him what the neem tree does, and what he's familiar very from his own country. And I'm just looking at things. We are, for 28 years now, in Canada, the only manufacturer. We are also the only company that promotes, educate people what Neem does. And we have DVDs, we have literature there, we have brochures there. And when I look at the whole spectrum, I just look at a list here, for example, skin problems, hair problems. We have problems for digesting. We have problems, blood control, blood sugar, arthritis pain. We have birth control with Neem possible. And when it comes to antifungal and antiviral and antiseptic, anti-cancer, I mean, the list is almost unlimited. And this is so overwhelming. But a lot, again, in North America, people are not familiar with this, because it seems that they have not a lot good understanding what Mother Nature and herbs can do for them.
Okay,
and so we need more people, more companies getting involved.
Absolutely.
Getting it to the public.
Very true. Dr. Garg, could you like to...
I think what we really need, in answer to your question, really is more research and more work on its use, because part of the problem with lot of these preparations is that when you make a statement that it works on so many things, people start to become skeptical and say, how can it be that it can do so many things? So we need to understand, because the common pathways of chronic inflammation is same, and I think this is where a lot of these products work, but they're not as fast as modern medicine is. So one has to
Right.
be careful. So again, I do want to say this is more of a conversation rather than any advice.
Right.
But I think the
Absolutely.
place where Neem products for personal hygiene show clearly uh, uh, good effect is skin
Absolutely.
conditions and the
Very true.
like shampoo use or in cream, hand cream. So I would think, but I think in answer to your question, the key thing which is not happening enough, look at for example, uh, some of the infectious disease, so much work has been done. So I think major effort has to be made for more research, to promote
Right.
more research, to see how it works. But certainly it's used in general skin conditions for and as Mr. Farlow said, for pest control and for agriculture and the plant sustainable agriculture management, I think is well understood and well
Great.
studied. So I think those are the areas we could pursue or
Absolutely.
suggest.
Dr. Garg, let's go for a break. We'll be shortly back, and in the last segment, we will learn more from Mr. Klaus Ferlow as to how the research is impacting and what all is being done. And when we talk about the products, for example, you talked about shampoo, Dr. Garg, or the toothpaste. How is it impacting and how is it helping the people who are, in this category where they have skin irritations or they have skin issues? So we'll talk all about this after this short break.
ਘਰ ਇੱਕ ਐਸੀ ਥਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਹਰ ਕੋਈ ਆਪਣੀ ਨਿੱਜੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਸੁਨਹਿਰੀ ਪਲ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰਿਆ ਜੀਵਨ ਬਤੀਤ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਪੂਰੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਦ ਕਿਸੇ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਨੂੰ ਸਜੇ ਹੋਏ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਬਦਲਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ। ਨਵੇਂ ਘਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਰੇਮਿੰਗ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਫਿਨਿਸ਼ਿੰਗ ਤੱਕ, ਡ੍ਰੇਪਰੀ, ਪੇਂਟਿੰਗਸ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਡੈਕੋਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਅਸੈਸਰੀਜ਼ ਤੱਕ, ਤੁਸੀਂ SK ਹੋਮ ਡਿਜ਼ਾਈਨਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸੁਪਨਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਹਕੀਕਤ 'ਚ ਬਦਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰੋ ਸੰਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ 6048259295।
ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸਮੈਨ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਕੀ ਵਜ੍ਹਾ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ? ਸੁਖੀ ਬਾਟ ਮੋਟਰਸ ਦੇ ਓਨਰ ਸੁਖੀ ਬਾਟ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਖ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਇੰਟੈਲੀਜੈਂਸ ਦਾ ਉਦਾਹਰਨ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਾਰ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਖ ਸੁਖੀ ਬਾਟ ਮੋਟਰਸ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਸਰੀ ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਟਰੱਕ ਸੈਂਟਰ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲੋੜ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੋੜੀਂਦੇ ਟਰੱਕਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਗਾਈਡੈਂਸ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸਪੇਸ, ਮੋਡੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਫਿਊਲ ਐਫੀਸ਼ੀਐਂਸੀ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਧਿਆਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸੁਖੀ ਬਾਟ ਟਰੱਕ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਟਰੱਕਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਟੌਰ।
ਵੈਨਕਾਸਾ ਟਾਈਲ ਅਤੇ ਸਟੋਨ ਸ਼ੋਰੂਮ ਇੱਕ ਐਸੀ ਥਾਂ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹੋਲਸੇਲ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਹਰ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਟਾਈਲਸ, ਸਟੋਨ, ਮਾਰਬਲ, ਬੈਕਸਪਲੈਸ਼, ਮੋਜ਼ੇਕ ਆਦਿ ਵਾਜਬ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਟਾਲੀਅਨ, ਸਪੈਨਿਸ਼, ਚਾਈਨੀਜ਼ ਪੋਰਸਲਨ ਜਾਂ ਸਿਰੈਮਿਕ ਟਾਈਲਸ ਜਾਂ ਮਾਰਬਲ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਆਰਡਰ ਤੇ ਜਾਂ ਕਲੀਅਰੈਂਸ ਤੇ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਮਾਲਕ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟ ਟਾਈਲਸ ਇੰਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ, ਜਿਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਸਮਾਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਿਟ ਕਰੋ 1304 84 ਐਵਨਿਊ ਸਰੀ। ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਹਿੰਦੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ 604 330 7363 604 330 7363। Once again, welcome back to the program. My guests today are Klaus Ferlow, a Neem expert, and Dr. Arun Garg, my co-host, who is with Canada India Network Society. And let's get back our guests and continue with the discussion. And Klaus, could I request you to please move to your little left because your face is getting cut. Could you move to your left? Yes, that's better. Thank you. So, Klaus, as Dr. Garg was talking before, as far as the research is concerned, could you please elaborate the kind of research that is being done and how this is impacting the community at large?
I think the World Neem Organization in Mumbai will play a key role in the future. For example, when it comes to oral health, I just got, unfortunately, only today, a Neem Holistic Dental Care review therapeutic role of Azadirachta indica in dentistry. That's several pages. There's a long list of references there. And I agree with Dr. Garg that more research and scientific research has to be done. But at the same time, it's the evidence that people buy these products from us for the last 28 years, and our business is steadily increasing, shows when the product speaks for itself, we don't have to do a lot of promotion, because people try something, and once they like it, they tell it others. And the word of mouth advertising is one of the best.
Right.
Besides, I can tell you that worldwide now there is a Neem wave going on. You look at international companies like, for example, L'Oreal and Garnier in France, Dr. Hauschka in Germany, Dr. A. Vogel in Switzerland, and so on. There are huge corporations, Costco in USA, Walmart sells Neem products. So that means all these big companies do also promotions.
Right.
And that means the public at large finally get to know what this wonderful tree has to offer.
Right. And Klaus, could you focus a little bit on the Neem and oral health, how they're related, and what advantages can people take by using Neem products, especially when it comes to oral hygiene?
I think in North America, due to a wrong diet, lots of people have gum problems, bleeding gums, they have gingivitis there, and it's so important that you, first of all, brush your teeth, floss your teeth. There are water picks, clean the teeth. And it's interesting that people from India, here, even in Canada, have very healthy white teeth. And I know from people and from feedback that had these severe problems with gingivitis and gum bleeding, using Neem toothpaste, and there are other companies, of course, selling Neem toothpaste and Neem products, but not manufacturing here, distributing in Canada. And it seems that for a lot of people, not for everybody, you cannot satisfy 100% of people, it's impossible. But for these people who try it properly, it seems to work.
Right.
Without any negative side effects.
Right.
And of course, everybody knows that if you don't have healthy teeth and healthy feet, you're not a healthy person either.
Right. Dr. Garg, integrative health and integrative thinking, this is the new mantra basically now. Of course, there is no substitute for the the medical advice that people get, but people are now coming forward and taking more interest in the mind, body, soul concept. Now, today, as we are talking about the importance of Neem, and Klaus has told us about the importance and how these things are impacting and how more and more people are getting attached to it. You always talk about the 5 P's, which is very important as to when we talk about integrative health. These things need to be adopted in our daily lifestyle. So, could you please sum it up as to what you would like to say towards the end?
Yeah, very much so. I think one thing is the paper I just received today on dental health. If you look at it, there are 30 peer-reviewed research studies in it, and role of Neem in oral health. And that's what I was saying about research. So when it becomes that kind of knowledge, then slowly but surely it will find its way. And again, it's not the be all end all that Neem will do everything, right? So I think, but it does work and it's helpful. And for some people, it might be a great solution, and some others. So use your judgment. Make sure you read everything, and again, consult your health provider if you have any doubts, because that's important.
Right.
In terms of summary, I think the biggest contribution we could make is to empower the individual to take interest in their own health.
Right.
So health prevention, the illness prevention by any means is important.
Right.
Ounce of prevention is worth pound of illness.
Right.
Then protection, to protect yourself. And then health promotion. And I think the example I would like to bring forward is smoking. Not that long ago, smoking was so prevalent. And then everybody understood through research and through clear evidence that smoking is bad for you. And then the public campaign started, and smoking has reduced tremendously. And using that example, I would say food, 5 P's or 5 Ks of how you eat, why you eat, when you eat, all that plays a very important role, and we could do another show on it, and our conference will talk about that. But I
Absolutely.
think in terms of Neem, that where it fits in, because oral hygiene.
Right.
And I think, as Klaus said, so from today's show, for our viewers, we are really emphasizing oral hygiene, oral health is critical for overall health. And that includes brushing, that includes flossing, that includes uh, mouth rinsing, and the potential role of neem. And then other thing which we cannot forget is, in a country like India, neem is very cheap and
Yeah.
very available. So it's really, that is the angle we didn't talk about. If
Right.
suppose you have most expensive toothpaste with stannous fluoride in it, and you get that, that's fine. But think of the rural areas, think of the poor areas where neem freely
Still
growing
easily available.
tree,
Absolutely.
and free.
Very
So
true.
why not use it? So I
Right.
think that's the context. The
Absolutely.
context is very important. So
Right.
I would say oral health will be my message today for our viewers,
Okay.
as critical. And we're talking about skin for the neem,
Right.
but oral health affect every organ in the body.
Absolutely.
And that's the integrated thinking.
Right, great. And Klaus, what are you seeing in future? Where do we see Neem, as far as you have said, there's a lot of research is being done in India also. You have been there many times. You have seen the growth of this knowledge amongst the general population also. What do you see in future? And also, if people want to get more information about what you all are doing, where can they get it?
First of all, there are a number of very good websites. One of the best actually is neem.world.
Okay.
That gives you a huge information. The other thing I would like to say is we have seen a steady increase in demand for neem products. And we, for example, neem hand sanitizers moving off the shelf quickly.
Okay.
And last not least, in the words of the World Neem Organization, the success of any business belongs to those who can see first what others need.
Right.
A neem product can be inexhaustible mine of gold. And the words that I always using is health is not everything, but without health, everything is nothing. And the body is the best healer. And
Right.
those who do not spend enough time on health will sacrifice one time a lot of time on illness.
Absolutely, absolutely. And where can people contact you?
At www.neemresearch.ca.
Great. Thank
And
you very
with
much.
that, of course,
And any phone number which you would like to give if anybody wants to contact
yeah,
you?
the phone number would be 604-322-4080.
Great. Okay. Dr. Garg and Klaus Ferlow, thank you very much for your time. And as usual, it's always a pleasure to have you, Dr. Garg, as a co-host and talk about integrative thinking and integrative health. And thanks once again for sharing your valuable time and being a part of this program. Thank you and have a great evening.
Thank
you very much.
Harpreet
Good
Singh
night.
ji.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, ਇਹ ਸਨ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਮਹਿਮਾਨ, our guests Klaus Ferlow and Dr. Arun Garg, and the focus today, what we always say on the second Tuesday of every month, is integrative thinking, integrative health. Let's take health in our own hands. Let's be responsible, because the way things are happening, if we are able to take control of our health, things will be much easier for us. Thank you very much for watching this program. If you also want to be a part of this program, you can contact me at 604-603-7555, or you can email me at harpreetsingshow@gmail.com. See you again. Have a safe evening. Stay healthy and enjoy yourself.